My closest friend insisted I show up in basic clothes for the ball selection. She completely lost it when the most attractive guy picked me as his date. Every year, students from the Marine Academy came to our campus to choose dates for their formal ball. It was a long-standing tradition where they marched through the main courtyard in full dress uniforms and formally invited someone to attend with them. My best friend Alexis had been fixated on this since our freshman year. She spent 3 years planning her outfit, deciding exactly where she'd stand in the courtyard, and even rehearsing her surprised expression in the mirror. She was sure several Marines would ask her, and that she'd casually choose the best-looking one. When senior year finally arrived, she made me wake up at 5 a.m. to do her hair and makeup. She wore a red dress she bought just for that day, and had spent $200 on it. She told me to wear my usual jeans and a simple shirt because she didn't want us competing for attention. Besides, she said, Marines never pick girls like me anyway. She flat out said I was the supportive friend type, not the chosen type, and that I should be content with that role. We stood in the courtyard with around 200 other girls, and Alexis positioned us right in the middle so everyone would see her. When the Marines entered, the crowd fell silent. There were about 30 of them in formal uniforms, led by a guy who looked straight out of a movie. 6 feet 3 inches, flawless posture, and green eyes you could spot from across the courtyard. Alexis grabbed my arm so hard it left bruises and whispered that he was hers. She started posing and flipping her hair, making sure he noticed her. He walked directly toward us, and Alexis stepped forward with her practiced surprised look, but he walked right past her and stopped in front of me. He introduced himself as Colin and asked if I'd do him the honor of being his date to the Marine Ball. Alexis actually gasped out loud and tried to step between us, saying there had to be some mistake. Colin politely moved around her and kept his eyes on me, waiting for my answer. When I said yes, he smiled and handed me a formal invitation with his contact information. Alexis stood there frozen as other Marines selected their dates all around us. Not a single one came up to her. For the rest of the day, Alexis refused to speak to me. When we got back to our apartment, she finally exploded. She claimed I must have done something to deceive him, maybe talked to him beforehand somehow. She accused me of secretly preparing for this and pretending not to care so she wouldn't notice. She said I knew how important this was to her and that I intentionally took her moment. She actually used the word stole, like Colin was something she owned. She demanded that I text Colin and tell him I couldn't go, that I was sick or had a boyfriend or anything to back out of it. When I turned her down, she told me I was the worst friend alive and that plain girls like me never deserved men like Colin. She said he must have felt pity for me or lost some stupid bet and was forced to ask out the ugliest girl he could find. She spent the next 2 days refusing to speak to me while messaging everyone we knew that I had betrayed her. She told people I'd been planning this for months and had intentionally ruined her chances. Then she crossed a line. She texted Colin from my phone while I was in the shower. She told him I'd changed my mind and didn't want to go with him, that I'd only agreed to be nice. Full story on channel. Link below.